So the other day, quite a few of the Philadelphia Eagles declined to see President Trump and visit the White House to celebrate their Super Bowl victory. I have a real problem with this, with Jalen Hurts' behavior. Let's jump in. Here's all the players that didn't go see President Trump to celebrate their Super Bowl victory: A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Zach Bond, N'Kobe Dean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Darius Slay Jr. were among the names of the athletes who were not at the ceremony, the outlet reported. Reacting to this online, several fans applauded the athletes who skipped visiting Trump. "You dropped your crown, kings," one person wrote. "Huge props to them, standing up for themselves and their beliefs. Go Eagles," said another. What a joke. This is just typical liberalism. Let me explain to you why. Jalen Hurts, a black man, a very successful black man in America, and very powerful, a quarterback, a winning quarterback of a Super Bowl team, had the opportunity to sit down with the most powerful man in the world, President Trump. And if all these players thought that President Trump is a racist and he's bad for America, they had their opportunity to go to the White House like men, sit down from President Trump, have a conversation, ask President Trump questions so President Trump could explain his policies clearer to them, to clear up some of the misconceptions about President Trump. Jalen Hurts would have had the opportunity to ask President Trump what his plans are for the black community, to help black people in general. And he chose, meaning Jalen Hurts, he chose not to. He chose the coward's way out. He chose the liberal way out. Oh, you know what? I don't like President Trump, so I'm just not going to go. I'm just going to go hide. And then I'm going to act like I care about my community when obviously you don't. When you have an opportunity to meet the most powerful man in the world, to clear things up or provide your stance on things, and you don't go because of all these preconceived notions or to make liberals happy, all the liberals in the comment section saying what a great thing that the players did, this just shows why liberalism is a mental disorder. I totally disagree with what Jalen Hurts did. He's a coward. Jalen Hurts, he should have brought up illegal immigration to Trump. Do you know what community gets hurt the most by illegal immigration? The black community. Because all the resources that are supposed to go to the black community go to illegal immigrants. When you have 20 million illegal people that Joe Biden just let into the country, you know who else it hurts when in the job market? You know who hurts the most? Black Americans. So there's a lot of things that President Trump could have explained to Jalen Hurts. He didn't have to leave there and say, I'm a conservative, I'm going to vote Republican, but he had the opportunity to sit down like a man across from the most powerful man in the world, whether you like it or not, President Trump, and he chose not to. So the next time you see one of these players and they're claiming that they're for black people and they're for the black community. No, they're not. They just every single one of these players who had this opportunity failed hardworking black people in their communities. Black people that will never have the opportunity like they did to sit down with President Trump and have a conversation with him, whatever they wanted to talk about. Policies, why people think he's racist, if he's a racist. They could have asked President Trump anything they wanted to, and they chose not to. The Democratic liberal way. Oh, I can't get my way. I'm going to take my ball and I'm going home and I'm not playing. Jalen Hurts is a coward. Complete coward. President Trump, if you look at him on television, he doesn't screen questions or calls. You can ask him anything you want. Anything you want. I better never hear any of these players again being ultra concerned about the black community and black people in general. Because if they do, I'm going to make a video on it immediately, that they had the opportunity to sit down with the most powerful man in the world to help black people or figure out a plan for black people or ask President Trump personally what he's going to do for the black community. And guess what? They all chose not to. You can't have it both ways. Jalen, next time, be a man. If you don't like somebody and they want to have a sit down with you, go sit down with them, talk to them, express the way you feel. The other person can express how he feels, and you can find some common ground. But that's not the democratic liberal way. That's your way. Being a liberal is being a coward, being a name caller, a finger pointer, hiding somewhere and calling somebody that you don't even know a bunch of names that aren't true. That's the democratic way. Jalen Hurts, you're a coward and you failed hardworking black people with your nonsense. And the policies that President Trump creates and makes the black community stronger, better, and thriving. You know what's amazing too? Democrats will jump on a plane and they'll fly to a foreign country, Venezuela, Honduras, for an MS-13 gang member with multiple convictions who beats his wife, tattoos everywhere, known gang member. They will fly to other countries for an illegal. But when it's time to campaign, do you see any of these Democrats going into inner cities or urban areas to campaign and talk to the people that live in that community? Never. Never. Congratulations, Jalen Hurts. You let the black community down.